her first month's bill going to the emergency room and on a ventilator was $72,000. And then the third thing that happened, my 3-week-old brand new Hyundai Veloster with a moonroof. You need that in Phoenix. I'm going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Some idiot runs the red light, T-bones me. Idiot has no insurance. I'm upside down. I have to get a second car and I'm eating ramen noodles twice a week. I'm like, I have to change my life. This is crazy.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Sally Gimon, is an investor who was motivated to become a real estate investor when her mother became sick and needed to make a change quickly. Now she shares her information weekly in her real estate group, Win Women TV. You can find her across social media on her YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/@SallyGimon. Sally, thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me, Dylan. The information we're going to share is really important to all investors.
When we talk about, diving into the real estate business, oftentimes, and we were talking about this before the show, it does take something to propel you to make that jump. And in your case, you had a sickness in the family.
October 2018 was my watershed month. I'm living in Phoenix. I'm a Medicare broker. My oldest nephew is getting married in Charlotte. I had the time saved up, and I requested the Friday before the wedding, the Monday after the wedding off, and they denied me because open enrollment is October 7th through December 5th. My mom and dad drove from Goodyear, 25 miles west of Phoenix, to Charlotte. My mom got sick, and she was on the ventilator for 13 months, in a hospital 15 months. My dad stayed with her. Thank God she got better, but her first month's bill going to the emergency room and on a ventilator was $72,000. And then the third thing that happened, my 3-week-old brand new Hyundai Veloster with a moonroof. You need that in Phoenix. I'm going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. Some idiot runs the red light, T-bones me. Idiot has no insurance. I'm upside down. I have to get a second car and I'm eating ramen noodles twice a week. I'm like, I have to change my life. This is crazy. So my friend Glenn had invited me to a real estate meeting back in August of 2018. I said I have to wait till open enrollment's over with because I was working like 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day. And when I called him in December, when I saw my mom's medical bill, he's like, Sally, next week we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Bring a $5 gift and some food and meet my real estate investors. And I don't know about you, Dylan, but going to a party where you don't know anybody but a husband and wife who aren't going to show up until 9 o'clock, it was the best decision. I met my mentor in 2019. He taught us how to do bank-owned properties nationwide. I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties, paid off all my debt. I was a rock star, had $50,000 in my bank account, and then COVID struck, and all the courthouses shut down, and I had no money coming in. And unfortunately, on April 4th of 2020, my CPA called me to say congratulations. He actually congratulated me that I made so much money in 2019. My tax bracket went from 22% to 24%, and I personally owed the federal government $94,000 in short-term capital gains, and I only had $50,000 saved. I cried myself to sleep that night.
I think there's so much to unpack there. The first thing that came to mind, and I want to talk about taxes as well, but the first thing is,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
how many times are folks, especially when you're getting into real estate, go into a networking event or, a personal gathering where there's real estate people, and you feel like, well, gosh, what can I add to this room? You're like, I shouldn't be there, right? But then once you spent time in these rooms, and we were talking before the show, it's in many cases, especially when you're dealing with, ones where, really anyone can show up. There's a lot of people who are there to talk shop about real estate, and then there's some people who are actually transacting. But you see that these rooms are connectors, and it's as much about knowing how to take a deal from the cradle to the grave as it is knowing the people. And so you mentioned you found a mentor. I believe his name was Glenn. Was that right?
Glenn was the person who invited me to the meeting, but the gentleman who taught us about bank-owned houses was Jay Tannenbaum. They call them tapes. It's an Excel spreadsheet. And the first tape that we got, everyone's like laughing at me because I used my self-directed IRA. I bought 5 properties and I wholesaled those 5 properties. And they're like, well, what did you do? Everyone's like, you're crazy. And it just, it got me going. How I got into real estate. This is a true story. When I was in high school back in 1984, I went to the dentist and there was a Sports Illustrated magazine, and it was an article on Arnold Schwarzenegger. He came from Austria and he was a bricklayer before he became a movie
Yeah, that's right.
star and the governor of California. They talked about how he did tax liens. I'm like, well, if Arnold Schwarzenegger can't speak English very well, Conan the Barbarian had just come out, why can't I do tax liens? And I started doing very inexpensive tax liens, hey, $3,000 for this one, $4,000 for that one. And sometimes I do them, sometimes I don't do them. And when I joined the real estate group, I got really back into it because it's just, I love doing it. I love finding a good tax lien and things like that.
I want to ask a granular question about tax liens. I know that you're in North Carolina. Where would you go to find tax liens and to go make offers on tax liens?
Well, here in North Carolina, there's a very archaic rule. It comes from before we were in the country. You have to know there's 101 counties. You have to know if it's 10 business days or 10 calendar days. I came out to the Charlotte area. My brother and sister-in-law lived in Union County in a small town called Waxhaw. It's a suburb, literally a mile from Mecklenburg County. And in Union County, the woman who ran the office, her name's Cheryl. She's like, I only have a high school diploma. I can count 10 days forward. If it falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, it comes up to a Monday. So let's say it's a tax lien for $3,000. I have to go in person and put down $3,000. They announce it on the courthouse steps. I have 10 days to go in and put down $3,750. And now it's my tax lien, and that 10-day window continues. I actually went to a very poor county, Anson County here in North Carolina, where I won 3 tax liens in one day. And the law firm called me and like, how did you take our properties? I'm like, I gave him the tax code. And he's like, I've never heard of that before. And I wholesaled those 3 properties right back to the law firm.
Wow. Did they just, why were their properties in foreclosure?
Here in North Carolina, everything is done by an attorney.
Hmm.
When I lived in Charlotte, I did go to South Carolina, to Lancaster County and York County, and I did tax liens there. But here in North Carolina, everything is done by a tax attorney. So it's a little bit different rules. And I do a lot of raw land in Florida. I've got tax liens in Ohio, Texas, and other places where it's much, much easier to work.
Very interesting. And this is an area of real estate that I don't know enough about. I would like to learn more. But I do want to pivot a bit here and touch on something that you said about being bumped up a tax bracket and then owing like 90,000 in taxes.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I think there's a lot of people who, especially when they're starting out and they start making money, they don't think about taxes and how complicated, of course, this can be until they've got a big tax bill to pay. And then at that point, they're like trying to do forensic accounting backwards in time to figure out, their
Yes. Yes.
books. And I've spoken with enrolled agents on the show, with CPAs who specialize in tax strategy, and of course with folks who maintain books as well, bookkeepers. And I can't say this enough, right? And I know you have this experience as well. You really want to be thinking about tax strategy even when you're not making the money, right? When you're just starting out.
Correct. Well, a fantastic book that everyone should read is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. I cried myself to sleep going, where the heck am I going to get $24,000? My CPA was going to put me on on a payment plan that's going to have interest rates and things like that. Wake up the next morning. I know I'm going to contact a friend who does HELOCs on paid off houses. Defeats the purpose of not having a mortgage, but hey, I have to do it. And I had read an article about the Rockefeller Spendthrift Trust. It's called The Office. And I'm like, if the Rockefellers don't have to pay taxes, why can't I not pay taxes? It took me 5 months. I started both my business and my beneficial trust in September of 2020. The gentleman who sold me my trusts, I became his affiliate. I went to my Phoenix real estate group. The gentleman who ran it, I'm like, I want to do a mastermind on it. He and I had a 50-50 agreement. And it until long involved story, the gentleman who ran the real estate meeting cheated me out of $5,000, and then he called me a liar. My mastermind went away, and my thinking into results coach said, you need to move, you need to start your own company, and you need to find a new real estate group. And I'm like, Susan, just ask me to lose 10 pounds. It's so much easier. But because I started my own company in March of 2022, I'm helping people, business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, and 1099 income earners. If they make at least $100,000 gross a year, they would save 5 figures in taxes. You're in Texas, you don't have state income taxes, but here in North Carolina, I haven't paid state income taxes. And in Arizona, I didn't pay state income taxes. With the beneficial trust, you will no longer pay short-term or long-term capital gains. I had a problem with short-term capital gains. You'll no longer pay interest income taxes. So if you're doing subject to real estate, the BRRRR strategy, I have notes, I have seller financing properties. I don't pay interest income taxes. You'll no longer pay rental income taxes. I have 3 rentals that I'm going to get rid of because I just got a phone call on Sunday at 2:00 in the morning. Not my idea of fun. And you'll no longer pay royalty income taxes, or if you have talent or NFTs. And you know, when I tell people about this, they're like, "This sounds crazy." I'm like, "It's in the IRS tax code 643B." I mean, it's not taught in school. The rich know about it. Regular people don't know about it.
Now, typically, when we think about the IRS and the tax code, there's a reason for this. So, like when you think about like cost segregation analysis, it wants to encourage building. Is there a reason why in the tax code it encourages putting things into trusts?
Correct. Now, if you talk to your CPA or your financial advisor, they will probably pull up a memo that the IRS actually wrote on August 3rd of 2023, where they say they do not like tax code 643B. It's their opinion. In my opinion, Dylan, I hate lima beans. My mom loved them. You can't swallow them. You have to cut them or chew them. Ugh. So only Congress can change the tax code. I'm not trying to be political, but if you remember, you might be too young for this, but if you remember 13 years ago when Hillary Clinton debated Donald Trump and she accused him of not paying taxes, and he smiled and he says, because I'm smart. His father, Donald Trump, started both the business and beneficial trusts in 1972 when Frank and Donald Trump got sued by the city of New York. With any of the spendthrift trusts, you're going to file a 1041 tax return. You're going to keep your information completely private. 40% of LLCs, S Corps, and C Corps can get sued every year.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And then you're going to leave a legacy for future generations. It's an amazing document. And my goal, one of the reasons I'm on your podcast, is just to let investors know there's a solution. I mean, fix and flippers. One of my clients, he's on a team, did 4 fix and flips in Victorville, California. Because he started the trust, he doesn't have to do draws anymore. He was able to do 8 fix and flips in 2025. He's like, I no longer have to go to the bank saying the electrician has to come out and wait a few days for him to approve what I've just done and things like that. So he's told so many other fix and flippers in California. It's just an amazing thing.
Now, do you help folks set up trusts as well in your business?
Correct. I'm an affiliate to the law firm. When I'll be honest, the trust costs $20,000 when it's paid and send back the contract. The only requirement, you name it, but you can't say the Spendthrift Trust. You'll have to say ABC Spendthrift Trust. Julia will get you your EIN number and a letter for the bank. There's an entire team that will teach you how to work with it. I'm getting into the weeds, but with the beneficial spendthrift trust, the 3 things it doesn't cover is personal food, fun, and fashion. So that you do a demand letter. I bought a tax lien for $7,000. I sold the house for $243,000. I can write a demand letter up to $7,000 to pay for my food, fun, and fashion. I'm old fashioned. I use a simple Excel spreadsheet to send to my CPA that they introduced me to. You use Quicken Books or something more advanced, that's even easier for her to work with.
When we talk about the intersection of wealth building and taxes, I think a lot of people are listening to this and they're thinking, gosh, when is the right time for me to start looking at this? Would you say that, especially when it comes to something like a trust, that you should first have like a couple years in business before you start looking at this? Or would this be something that could potentially be used for folks in their first couple of years or when they're in the on-ramp to real estate investing?
It depends how much they're doing. My first property was a bank-owned reverse mortgage property in North Carolina because my mom was in the hospital here in North Carolina. I paid $20,000 for it in July of 2020. It was going to go to auction after COVID for $50,000. So I knew that split at 24%, that $30,000, that would be $7,410 on that. When it finally went to auction in August of 2021, the final bid was over $64,000. I made $44,000 without lifting a hammer. That's the way I love to do real estate. And at 24% tax bracket, I saved $10,300 on that one property. Since having the trust, I've wholesaled 28 properties. I have 12 notes, which is interest income taxes. I have 5 seller financing, which is interest income taxes, 3 rentals, and I don't pay taxes on any of that. And if you do have cost averaging, or if you do have depreciation on your single family home, you can move that into the trust. And the next time you buy a home, you don't have to worry about doing cost averaging or depreciation on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpack here. I'm sure our listeners and really anybody who is looking at doing larger deals or more volume is listening to this and saying, "Gosh, that sounds interesting. How do I learn more about this?" How can folks in our audience reach out to you and your team and learn more about trusts and the projects that you're working on and how you help folks?
I appreciate that. I have a free class on the Great Discovery. I have you ever heard of the Great Discovery?
I've not.
My brother's a Six Sigma engineer, so this is their fourth thing. When you go out to my first name and my last name, SallyGimon.com, you're going to register as a free learner. And when you go there, you're going to get a presentation. You're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine I did not write. So, Forbes is set talking about the Spendthrift Trust, selling it for me. You're going to get 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content and examples of everyone. My website, www.thetrustisyou.com, has a presentation and how to set up an appointment with me. Because I set up the free class on the Great Discovery because I was killing people's email, sending all those documents to them. So this is an easy place for them to get to. But again, set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me. It's free. We'll go over what kind of real estate you're doing. Are you doing one of my first clients, if you don't mind me telling a story, he was referred to me. He's in Texas. He had gone to his CPA 3 years in a row to say he was paying too much in interest income taxes. He was doing the BRRRR strategy. His CPA told him 3 times in a row, you're moving too fast. When he contacted me, he had 85 homes. I got to save him $135,000 in interest income taxes in 2023. And I only know this from last year. He now has 119 BRRRR strategy homes, and he's now into multifamily buildings because it's easier for him. But I mean, think of that, $135,000 that he got to save that his CPA had no idea how he could save it for him.
That's incredible. That is truly remarkable, and I know that there's going to be lots of folks, whether you're an investor, whether you're doing something more transactional, really any side of the business, that are looking outside of real estate as well, that are looking at this and hearing this and thinking, they'd like to get involved. Thank you so much for coming on the show today,
Oh,
Sally.
thanks for having me.
Taking the time today.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.